Okay, we will restart. So remember our discussion on mindfulness. There were 4 levels. In the body level, I named 6 meditations, but we could not cover all because of the time limit. If the time permits, I mentioned that I will cover you the other. So now the time being there, we are going to discuss one more meditation in this area. What are the 6 contemplations in that mindfulness of the body? Breathing, we did, postures, activities, anatomical parts, all that we have discussed, but we did not discuss this. 4-element meditation and the corpse decay, we did not discuss. 4-element meditation we will choose now that we have time. So you know where it belongs to now. It belongs to the first level of mindfulness. It's another way of thinking of the body and develop mindfulness on the body. Okay, we will look at the nature to start with. I think you know what you are looking at. Right? Lots of physical things in the universe. You can see this is just one of them, right? But there are the physical world is so big, and nobody knows where the limits are, where the boundaries are. Some says it's expanding. Some says it's contracting. Some theory says it's expanding and contracting, right? Alternatively, in a cyclic manner. So much of physical bodies everywhere, right? And if we focus a small part of this, take a small part of this and focus more, right, into a smaller area, then so many different celestial objects you can see, right? So many celestial objects. Okay. And focus more. You may be somewhere here on this diagram, but you are not even a dot to be seen. So small. Focus further into just one of them. Lots of physical matter as well as physical energy in a sun. And around it, we know a lot of other celestial objects are orbiting. And in one of those celestial objects called the Earth, here we are, and with a lot of weather changes everywhere. Right? What you are seeing are the elements of nature, physical elements of the nature. So today, you know, these elements have certain atomic levels, atoms, and you have learned that all the atoms are in the periodic table, right? Maybe all the known atoms, right? And inside the atoms, people have investigated and found certain other things, protons, electrons, and so many things. And inside the nucleus, they have investigated and found so many things. Right? So that goes to the molecular level, or smaller levels. What I showed you in the previous slides are larger, bigger levels. Everywhere, physical things appear in various physical form. Various physical form, large physical forms are there. Submolecular physical forms are there. So the physical world, what we have investigated so far, is very limited. Human knowledge is very limited about everything in the physical world. There is this meditation on the body, to see the body and review the body having or consisting of certain elementary qualities. Although those physical things are so complicated and it may take ages to find out the knowledge of physical bodies, physical things, in this meditation, we train the mind to analyze everything or see everything, review everything in terms of uh, certain qualities or properties. And there are, maybe you already had a subject also in your curriculum, I'm not sure whether it's there still. We call it properties of materials. Right? Properties of materials. Where, materials, they are physical, right? They have lots of varieties. And on the other hand, you have properties or qualities. So rather than you take the material, you take the mind from materials to properties or qualities. And in this meditation, we identify 4 qualities or 4 properties of materials, and try to review the body based on those 4 properties, mainly to simplify our thought process, simplify our mind. One way to relax the mental process is to think of these 4 elementary qualities around us and within us also. So let's discuss some ideas about how to do this meditation. If you compare this one with the previous one, that will be easy to start with, to get a start. Compare this with the anatomical parts of the body. The last meditation we did on the body was that. What we covered under anatomical parts seem to fall into 2 qualities that we are going to cover in a moment. The 2 qualities by name. One quality is solidity of the materials and the liquidity of the materials. So all the body parts like hair, bodily hair, the physical organs, everything have solidity and liquidity. But in this meditation, we are going to add 2 more. That's why we call it 4 elementary qualities: heat and motion. 2 more, which are the quality called heat, maybe temperature if you want to say that way, and the motion, movements. That's why 4 qualities we say. But the previous meditation reviewed the body in terms of anatomical parts, but addressed only these 2. Right? This time, we will simplify the thinking further, but 2 more qualities are added: heat and motion. Let me explain further. Well, Dulja or someone, if I forget to stop by 8:40, please give me a remind me like last time, right? Like every time. Right?
Okay.
4-element meditation. The key idea is that we get the mind to analyze and also decompose our physical body into its 4 elementary qualities. What are these elementary qualities? There are 4. Uh, Irrespective of how the body is placed and irrespective of what your posture is, body posture is, irrespective of those things, you just review the body consisting of these 4. One is earth element, right? Earth element, then water element, fire element, and the air element. Rather than complicating our thoughts, we just simplify that everything in the body uh, consists of these 4 elementary qualities. Remember, these are not matter, they are properties. Right? They are properties of matter. So, technical names, you can use the word solidity, liquidity, heat or temperature, and the motion. Solidity, liquidity, heat, and motion. They are the things called by these names. Right? The solid property known as earth element. Liquid property, liquidity, uh, is called in the meditation, it is called water element. Heat is called the fire element. Motion is called the air element. So these are the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. And they represent solidity, liquidity, heat, and the motion in sequence, in that order. Right? So solidity is represented by the word earth element, liquidity represented by water element, heat represented by fire element, motion represented by air element. Another way to think is that the word earth element represents hardness or softness of everything. Your body or your table, chair, and walls, the earth, everywhere. This word earth element is a quality or property representing hardness or softness. You know, those things have certain hardness. Even hair or teeth, when you consider them, they have hardness or softness that is represented by this word earth element. This is the meditation terminology, right? Water element represent wetness or dryness. Fire element represent hotness or coldness. These words are easier to understand, isn't it? That's why I'm just comparing. Air element represent the degree of freedom for motion, right? Degree of freedom for motion. Okay, so now that we know the 4 words used for the 4 elements and the properties associated with those 4 words, let's see how we can compose those into a meditation. Right? What kind of thinking, what kind of contemplation should we do? Our body, uh, your body has earthy and watery qualities, earth element and the water element. How do you think of that? Consider, observe the physical sensations of the solid and liquid parts of the body. Right? Physical sensation when you touch. You can observe that way. Earthy and watery qualities can be felt. And fiery quality can be developed by body heat and body processes. There are a lot of processes happening in the body. Those release of hormones we discussed earlier, they are also processes. Digestion is a process. Aging is a process. All that is happening right now in your body. So that's movement or changes brought about. Air, uh, air element represent the quality of motion actually. You can observe it by directing your thoughts to observe things which are happening like breathing, blood circulation, uh, those inner housekeeping activities being done can be focused when you do this meditation to understand the air element. Then once you try to figure out these properties or experience these properties in your mind, these are analogies actually. Earth element represented by this figure you can see, but it's only representation because if you consider Earth, if you consider real Earth, it has all four elements, right? Hardness is there, and watery qualities are also there, hidden of course. Therefore, these are only examples, right? Earth, water, air, and fire, these figures, they can be used as examples to understand the property. But they are not properties. The diagrams are not properties here. They are only given as examples. And the body consisting of all four elements. In the meditation, you try to review the body uh, as consisting of these four elements to a mix. Each may be of varying degree, but it's a mix. So view the body or review the body as consisting of the four elements. How to do that, I will explain later. If you consider a body and consider only the earth part, that's representing the hardness, right? Representing hardness, right? Hardness, like this. So take the property called hardness out and consider it as, put it into your meditation loop and focus on only the hardness, likewise, right? That is earth element, hardness of the body. Then body has a lot of water, isn't it? If all the water is considered, removing other four elements, then your mind can be focused to review or understand the watery quality or water element uh, of the body. Then heat element, the body heat, is distributed everywhere evenly. The air element represents the body motion and lot of activities, housekeeping activities happening within the body is also represented by the air element. So however the body is placed at this moment, irrespective of its disposition, we think that the body consists of the earth element, water element, fire element, and the air element. And that's about the body. Then you focus on outside. That's a second step. External world. Uh, Try to review whatever form the external physical things appear. They also consist of earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. They also consist of only these four. The body also consists of those four. And what are the differences between the earth element inside the body and the earth element outside the body. Earth element inside the body and earth element outside the body. Then consider the differences between the water element inside the body and water element outside the body. Of course, outside the body, the water element is so large, infinite, boundless. Inside the body, the water content is so small, very limited. But is there a difference in the waterly quality or water element, because it's a property? Is there a difference in property between inside water content and the outside water content? That's the way we think. Same way we think about the fire element and air element also. So during the meditation, we get our mind to compare and identify differences in the qualities, if there are any. If there are no differences, let the mind understand that. In fact, as you develop this meditation, as you do this meditation further and further, you will realize that there are no differences. For example, the water. Water is a cycle, isn't it? Water cycle, where in a cyclic manner, the water will evaporate and then form clouds, and then it will rain, and then it will make rivers, and then again evaporate. And it's a cycle. All the water in the world is going through a cyclic behavior like that. And what about the water inside the body? Does it remain in one place? No. It by tomorrow it's gone. Right? It's also in the cycle. So while the water is going through the cycle, a brief presence is there, a certain water content in your mind, in your body. So the waterly quality, that means the wetness is belonging to the nature. The water does not belong to this body, of course, it's circulated in the water cycle. And in the circulation process, for a short time, some water will stay in the body. So we adjust our thinking like that and try to review it in that way during this meditation. To give you an analogy, suppose you think of a cow, and assume that there is a butcher who slaughtered the cow and produced meat. Right? A common thing happening in many markets, isn't it? So when you look at the cow and when you look at the meat, of course, the way we look at, way we review is different, isn't it? Initially, we think of it as cow, and subsequently, we think of it as meat. So our perception, our cognition in our mind has changed from cow to meat. So when you go to the market and see the meat, that cognition of the cow does not come, isn't it? You see it as just meat. So same way, shift of perception or shift of cognition will take place in our mind about the body during this meditation. When you decompose the body into the 4 elementary qualities, then slowly you will notice you will not experience the body as me or mine, rather than you will experience it as a combination of 4 qualities. Change of perception, initially perceived as, here example, it initially perceived as cow, later perceived as meat. Same way, initially perceived as me or mine, this body, later perceived as part of nature, consisting of a large or boundless qualities, boundless four qualities. So a change of perception about the body is what is happening when you do this meditation. Today we will not have time to do the meditation. I'm introducing it. Next time, please go through this video as well. Get the concept into the mind properly. Next time, we will do it together, right? The whole purpose is experience the qualitative identity of the body with the environment. You identify body and the environment together. You don't try to identify body as separate from the environment, separate entity from the environment. That boundary which our mind has created between the external environment and the internal body, we are going to dismantle through this meditation, get the boundary to vanish, and make the body and the environment the same, like that water I explained. So we consider it as seamless, internal body and external world. We mix the boundaries, we remove. Of course, the boundaries are mental. Those mental boundaries we have set up over the living years of our life. During this meditation, we remove those boundaries and allow the body to blend seamlessly with the external material, physical world. So consider it as wholesome rather than separating your own body. Thinking that simply there are different degrees of hardness or softness, wetness or dryness, hotness or coldness, motion on the subatomic level within the body, outside the body, and seamlessly, or you consider everything together without separation. That will slowly give a realization of selflessness, nature of the material reality. The physical form, be it inside or outside, their qualities are actually does not belong to a self called me. For example, the water in the world, who owns? Who owns? No one, isn't it? It's a kind of a cycle. Water is running through that cycle. Thank you, Dulsha, for the message. Quiz will start 8:40, 9:40, right? So after this slide, I will stop. So the realization that the body and the outside are, of course, one thing, it's together, is the idea. Right. Then there is another method of thinking in this meditation, which I will highlight next time. After I highlighted that second method also, we'll use one of those two methods to practice this meditation in our next session. Okay, so we will stop at this point today. Log on to Moodle, 8:40 is the time it will start, and up to 8:52 you have 12 minutes. Okay, do it well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.